Bernstein?
Here.
Board Member Higley?
Here.
Board Member Malloy?
Here.
Board Member Storms?
Here.
Supervisor Stanley?
And I'd like to get an approval for the previous town board meetings. Everybody get a chance to read it? I'd like to make a motion to accept it, please.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Like, all right, the supervisor's financial report. The highway interest is $28.28. Ambulance donation is $520. Ambulance fees, $5,934.43. Phoenicia Library rent, $300. Phoenicia Library electric reimbursement, $108.30. Justice fees, $12,349. Permits, code officers, $200. Building permit fees, $565. Town clerk fees, $341. Dog licenses, $132. Police fees, $45. Fuel reimbursement, $7,194.83. Mariner Cell Tower, $865.07. Registrar, $420. Pine Hill Water Rent, $3,000. Mill and Steel, $383.30. New York State Retirement Fund, $85.69. Phoenicia Water Interest, 81 cents. And Phoenicia Water Supply reimbursement, $1,536.07 for a total of $34,009.66. All right, communications. Anybody have communications? Okay.
I'll let that speak for all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Do we need to use the mic?
Yes.
Do we-
Okay.
I'm a sophomore. Test, is it on? Oh, okay. So thank you for allowing us time to speak tonight to the town board. We just want to give you a few updates on new developments at the Ashokan Watershed Stream Management Program. I'm Leslie Zucker. I'm the Ashokan Project Manager for Cornell Cooperative Extension of Ulster County. And this is Adam Doan, the Ashokan Project Manager with Ulster County Soil and Water Conservation District. So you actually have a copy of like a PowerPoint slide presentation that we won't give you tonight, but you can follow along if you want. I just wanted to remind you that the Ashokan program is a collaboration between 3 participating agencies at its core: Cooperative Extension, Soil and Water, and the New York City Department of Environmental Protection, which is the sole funder of the program. But the program wouldn't be successful without community engagement and partnership with municipalities, all of which are represented on our stakeholder council that advises the program. The watershed is primarily drained by the upper Esopus Creek and some tributary streams that drain directly into the Ashokan Reservoir. The watershed covers almost the entirety of the town of Shandaken, and you are our major municipal partner. I wanted to let you know about a new program that we're launching this year. It's called Local Flood Analysis. This is a funding and technical support program for flood hazard mitigation in the Ashokan watershed. Yes, another flood hazard mitigation program, but I want to emphasize that this builds on your existing Town of Shandaken flood mitigation plan and the work that you all just did with the New York Rising Community Reconstruction Program over the last 6 months. This program will take you to the next step, which is to focus on the causes of flooding in your hamlets and specific solutions for reducing flood inundation in your hamlets, population centers as they're called in the program. Local flood analysis is an engineering analysis that will identify the specific causes of flooding in the hamlets, let you explore however many mitigation options you want to using engineering models which will show you the exact extent of the reduction in flood inundation levels and let you compare options against each other, and it's very important. It accurately assesses which options are most beneficial and helps you also analyze the feasibility of the different options and which are most sustainable. Some of the options that you can look at, one thing you might look at is what happens to flood elevations if you widen a culvert or a bridge so that it's no longer a constriction. A number of those projects have been completed in the watershed, but more types of analysis are needed. You might also look at what happens when streams are reconnected with their floodplains so that more water moves onto the floodplains and stays out of your hamlets and population centers. So you can look at, are there flood reduction benefits from restoring floodplains? And there are many other options you can look at, and we encourage the town board to generate ideas and to gather ideas from the public and run them all through the models and really get the information you need for decision making. Like every funding program, this one has some rules and bureaucracy involved. I put some of the key program rules on your handout. The program is only available to municipalities within the New York City West of Hudson watershed. And we would like to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the town, we being Cornell Cooperative Extension and Ulster County Soil and Water, and that would be to collaborate on stream management. A draft of the MOU is in front of you right now. It really just documents our existing working relationship with the town, talks about the kinds of technical assistance and services that our agencies in cooperation with the rest of Ulster County government can offer the town. A lot of thought was put into the local flood analysis program to make sure that it preserves local home rule. And so this is a town-led program. The towns would establish a flood advisory committee to oversee the consultant and the process, which you've already done several years ago proactively with the formation of Safari. And the town would use the local flood analysis scope of services, which contains a lot of detail that helps you guide the engineering and planning firm that you want to hire. And then finally, this first round of LFA funding is only eligible for population centers identified in the 1997 Memorandum of Agreement between the New York City Watershed Partners and in the town of Shandaken. That includes Big Indian, Shandaken, Alvin, Pine Hill, Chichester, Benicia, and Mount Tremper. But you can consider other areas within the town that are prone to flooding, such as Oliveria or Bushnellsville as examples, and apply to run a local flood analysis. You can apply for funding from our program through our regular stream management implementation grant program for those areas. So how can LFA benefit communities? Increase public safety and reduce flood losses. Because you're exploring all of the options and getting all of the information you need first, less waste of taxpayers' money on solutions that are ineffective or only effective for a very short time. This program does have the potential to lower flood insurance premiums for flood-prone properties if we can find solutions that reduce the extent and the elevation of flooding. And the solutions will be based on the most up-to-date information, current stream conditions, and precipitation patterns that we've seen have changed over the last few decades. Once you complete this process, the town will be eligible for water quality-based grant programs to implement the solutions. And before I turn the mic over to Adam to give you an update on the status of our stream restoration projects within the town, I just wanted to update you on the funding stream for the Shandaken program. Both Cooperative Extension and Soil and Water are renewing our contracts with the New York City DEP for another 5-year period. The new contracts will cover 2014 to 2019, and we do have an increased level of funding over the last 5 years for the Shandaken watershed. We will have another $2 million in stream management implementation grants available. An additional $2 million will be available to run the local flood analysis and fund the solutions that the town board selects for moving forward. We'll have a little over $4 million available for stream restoration projects in the Shandaken watershed over the next 5 years. We're renewing the Catskill Stream Buffer Initiative Program and our education and outreach efforts, and there will be almost $1.5 million available for consultants to conduct engineering, research, and technical assistance to benefit the program and the towns. And the Shandaken program will also maintain its program office and staff located down the road in the town of Shandaken. Looking back over the last 5 years at our grants program, so I wanted to report that we distributed $2 million with 58 projects. 16 of those projects were located in the town of Shandaken for a total of $856,285.
For the last couple of pages, we just wanted to give you guys an overview of some of the work that we've done. This would have been construction season last year. This is Town of Shandaken sponsored stream restoration work that was funded jointly through the Natural Resource Conservation Services Emergency Watershed Protection Program, as well as our program for the local share. Many of you are probably aware of the work that went on up in Chichester. There's also a stream project that was up Warner Creek Basin that drains into Stony Clove Creek up Silver Hollow Road. That was one that was designed in-house and then constructed last season. Then we'll be continuing on a project that was delayed due to the weather over the winter. That would be the confluence of Warner Creek and Stony Clove Creek. You may have seen the excavators up there if you've been up to 214, but that project in part will help stabilize the 214 road grade as well as Silver Hollow Road, where the town had previously done some work. So the picture just kind of show a before and after of 3 of these projects. And it would be something that might be consistent with what you would get through the LFA process if it involved a stream component or floodplain reclamation. So with that, unless there's any specific questions, we wanted to leave you guys with that version of the MOU for your review and then potential adoption at a later date. So we'll be available to answer any questions in the meantime while you guys are reviewing that.
I just wanted to ask you, those machines have been sitting there for months and months.
Yeah.
Are they going to be used?
Yeah, they were just overwintered there. They shut down construction in January with the intent of getting back there this spring once the flows cooperate. So we're getting back down to about base flow, so barring no more large rain, they should be back at it in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, okay. And
So
how long is that slated to be done, that project?
they'll have potentially another 2 months of construction time left. So at least 8 weeks, I'd say. And then they should be done with the Chichester work. We have potentially 2 more projects, one further up the Stony Clove on Stony Clove Lane Bridge just above it, as well as one in the town of Hunter for this construction season, but that's
Is that going to be the stabilization of that bank by the Stony Cove, right, as soon as across the bridge?
Yeah.
The left, and that house is overhanging?
Yeah. Yeah, and that'll be, it's still dependent on landowner participation. You need signed easement agreements and all that, but it should be going out for permitting within the week.
Okay, that's good. That's good news.
And then I just want to add to this on this. Rob has left me a note on this, and it said this contract has been beneficial for us on multiple levels and grant opportunities we've taken full advantage of for many years, and we'll do a resolution on the renewal next month. So.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm not going to go ahead.
Do you want me to do it, or do you want to do the letter?
No, go ahead.
I just want to talk about one subject that I've had a lot of people I've been talking to, a lot of complaints, especially with the warmer weather. We've been having a lot of noise complaints in the town of Shandaken, and it's mainly doing to people playing music very loudly through all hours of the night, not really paying attention to the neighbor's needs to have sleep. So, you know, you can dump, when a neighbor dumps garbage in your property, it's pretty, people scream and everybody takes care of it immediately. But when they dump sound garbage in your property, nobody knows what to do. So I'm looking to try to get everybody to get on board with doing some kind of sound ordinance law. We don't really have one that works. We have something that you have to go into the house and measure with the, I think it's called a decibel thing or something. And by the time that happens and you get the equipment, you know, the people turn down their sound, and then the minute you leave, they turn it back up again. So that's not gonna work, but there's plenty of laws that have been enacted on the books across New York State, across the country now, because it's really becoming an issue with a lot of people. So I just want to open it up and talk about it and just let people know that I'm really on board to do something about it. So if anybody out there is interested in talking to me, please give me a call, and, you know, should I give my cell phone number?
Or email and call our office.
Or call Joyce's office, that would be the best, and then you can connect with
They
me.
won't call me out.
What? No, no.
Oh, in the middle of the night, when they're partying.
No, it's important because especially, we have a younger crowd moving into the area too, and I think that, you know, it's for peace of quality of life here. We need to have after 10 o'clock, I think we should have quiet,
At least reasonable quiet.
reasonable quiet.
Yeah, just keep it down at 10.
George,
Yeah.
do we have decibel meters on the police? How much does something like that cost?
It ranges anywhere from, I think it's like $80 to $700. You get different types.
Yeah, but they're finding better ways to resolve it. I've been doing some research on it, and there's better ways to resolve it.
Also, the car alarms too, they let these alarms go off. You know, they're
Right.
afraid their cars will
Yeah, and
be
you're
stolen.
at 4 o'clock in the morning,
Oh,
you're
ridiculous.
hearing that sound.
The whole day, something has to be done.
Right. So anyways, I think it's an important thing to talk about, and I hope people respond to it.
What is the current town ordinance against noise?
It's a zoning, you gotta ask the zoning laws. It's a zoning law.
Don't ask me.
I did some research on it.
Nobody knows?
No, there's no law.
Joyce knows.
There's a law, 7 o'clock to 11, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., and I think it's 90 decibels.
7 a.m.?
It's 11 p.m., right?
90 decibels is like a giant.
To 11 p.m. you mean?
Where'd you get that from, Bob?
Town law. Town law on sound, it's a law in the books.
There's a,
But then it's not enforced then.
Yeah, I think we need to get a better law.
Yeah. And enforce it.
There's better.
Yeah, and it has to be enforced, yeah.
Tim, can I go?
Yes.
Okay, so, all upcoming public notices and town events are posted on Channel 23 to its own order, and are listed on our website, shandaken.us, our town Facebook page, our Google Calendar, and now on our newly improved bulletin board on Main Street in Phoenicia. So if you don't go online, you have the bulletin board to check out. It's in front of Key Bank, and that's updated every weekend. If you have an event you'd like to have posted, call the town clerk's office at 688-5004. Also, if you have a friend who no longer can watch our Channel 23 on Time Warner Cable, let them know they have to call Time Warner and get the free converter box, or they can call our office and we'll help them out. All town meeting minutes are now posted on our YouTube channel, which includes Planning Board and the Zoning Board. And a few highlights of upcoming events. The long-awaited metal pickup is coming on June 16th. Have all your metal out by the road by Saturday, the 14th. Metal only. We are looking for some volunteers this month to help do a cleanup at the Shandaken Rural Cemetery on Route 28. We've done it for the past few years.
When is that?
Anytime this month. We're going to
Okay.
think about maybe in about 2 weeks on a
Okay.
weekend. Call Teresa Grant or call the town clerk's office. There's a concert at the Empire State Railway Museum with Linda McCrae on Friday, June 13th. The Shandaken Theatrical Society has a production of The Robber Bridegroom starting on June 13th. The St. Francis Church is hosting the Rotary Blood Drive on Monday, June 16th. And the Flag Day ceremony is at the Phoenicia School next Friday the 13th at 10 a.m. And that's really a nice ceremony. If you can get there, it's really cool. The 4th annual Bruce Story Memorial Golf Tournament is Monday, June 23rd. Again, all of this information is on our website, Channel 23, on our bulletin board here in the town hall and in town. Lastly, if you're a new resident or a long-timer that doesn't go online, we made up these, I told you about these before, the welcome packets for everybody, or as we like to call them in our office, the Shandaken Survival Guide. And also we have these handy-dandy information cards, stop by our office, or we'll mail one to you. That's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay.
One more thing.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, go ahead.
We're finally getting the kiosk and the signs put up in the town of Shandaken. So we're looking for volunteers. The middle of this month to the end of this month, it's going to be happening. And we're looking for volunteers just to help with some of the guys in the highway department to help hold things and erect things. So if anyone is interested in volunteering to do that, please contact Joyce at her office and she'll coordinate it with you.
And the reason why we're asking for volunteers is too, because we don't want to use the highway department. If they're doing something, we can use maybe one person, but not to bring everybody from the highway department. So if anybody can help out, appreciate that.
Jeff Lasko dropped off a survey here from, or a public notice, I should say, which should be of particular interest to the High Mountain Big Indian residents. It's from the U.S. Postal Service here. It says the Postal Service will hold a meeting to answer questions and provide additional information about Post Plan. At the meeting, local management will share the results of the survey and answer questions. Although survey results will be known and shared, the Postal Service will not make a final decision regarding this office until after the public meeting. This will enable the Postal Service to obtain all community input and opinions from both the surveys and the meetings before making a final decision. Surveys will be sent to customers within the delivery zip codes of the post office and the post office box customers. Below are the options that the Postal Service is considering. If you do not receive a survey by 7/8/2014, it's July 8, 2014, and like to fill one out, surveys available at the counter. Number one, keep the office open based on actual office workload. In the case of the High Mount Post Office, this is also for the Big Indian, just the two different notices here. For the High Mountain Big Indian Post Office, hours would be reduced from 8 hours each weekday to 4 hours per weekday. Current Saturday hours will not change as a result of Post Plan, and access to your delivery receptacles will not be impacted by Post Plan. 2, conduct a discontinuance study for the office and offer roadside mailbox delivery. Retail and delivery service would be provided through a rural carrier. Mail delivery points will be established and customers can purchase most postal services through the carrier or other alternate access points. 3 is conduct a discontinuance study for the office and find a suitable alternative location operated by a contractor, usually at a local business. When businesses are found that meet the criteria, these establishments are contracted through the U.S. Postal Service and offer stamps and flat rate products with service hours generally more expansive than what the local postal office will be able to offer. Number 4 is conduct a discontinuance study for the office and provide P.O. box service via another nearby post office and relocate P.O. box delivery to that post office. These meeting dates are 7/29/2014 for the meeting place for the High Mount Post Office is the High Mount Post Office, 8 Gallicurchie Road, High Mount, New York. That's at 1 p.m. For the Big Indian Post Office, same date, 7/29. That's 8279 State Route 28, Big Indian, New York, at 3:30 p.m. Depending on the interest in these meetings here from residents, maybe we could have that meeting here at the town hall where all the residents who might be concerned and maybe
From both post offices.
Yeah, maybe members of the town board could be here and clarify on what they're actually saying here and what they want to do. It sounds like they want to close the post office again.
Can I have this?
Yep.
And I have a letter here tonight from Police Chief James McGrath, and the reason is resignation as chief. Sad to see him go. Dear Supervisor Stanley and the Shandaken Town Board members, after 34 years of service as a police officer, I will be retiring as chief of the Shandaken Police Department effective July 18, 2014. I would like to thank you and the town of Shandaken for providing me the opportunity to work with the Shandaken Police Department and give something back to my local community. It has been a pleasure watching the police department grow into a professional department it is today, with the knowledge that has become a department that is and will continue to be well respected within the police community. The experiences I have had working for the town will never be forgotten and has helped me create some of my closest and endearing memories and relationships over the past many years. The decision to retire has not been an easy one, but I feel it is time for me to move on. I will still be available to assist in any way I can to continue helping the town and the department. I wish the town of Shandaken and the police department the very best in its future, and I know will continue to strive to better serve the community and protect its residents and visitors while providing this very necessary community service. Very sincerely yours, James McGrath, Chief, Shandaken Police Department. I think we all could say thank you to Jimmy for all the work he's done over these years. And again, on a note from Supervisor Stanley, it says here, I would like to schedule a joint meeting of the police commissioners and the town board to interview any applicants the last week of June, so we could appoint a new chief at the July meeting to be in place for the 18th. And I'd like to make a motion to accept his resignation.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And that's it with the communications? Everybody got it? Committee reports. Ambulance. Total calls received, 35. Mutual aid given, 1. Town of Woodstock. Mutual aid received, none. As the upcoming months usher in a matrix of outdoor activities, please be aware of the threat of tick-borne diseases posed to you and your loved ones, and take action against them. Aside from the obvious threat of Lyme disease, ticks can carry all sorts of nasty things that you don't want to introduce into your body, like
Osmosis.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Babesiosis, ehrlichiosis, and Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Thank you, Kathy. All of these bugs carried by ticks present with fatigue and some with fever, much like Lyme disease. In 60 to 80% of all Lyme disease cases, the first symptom is a 2 to 6 inch bullseye near the bite site. Always follow